Simone sat in her car in the grocery store parking lot, bags of food in the back seat, staring at her phone. Her finger hovered over the play button on a voice memo from Trevor. The message had come through 10 minutes ago while she was checking out. He usually texted. Voice memos were rare. She pressed play. "Baby, I can't stop thinking about last night." Trevor's voice filled the car, low and intimate in a way he hadn't spoken to her in years. "The way you looked in that red dress I bought you. God, I'm counting down the hours until I can see you again." Simone's heart stopped. The red dress. She'd never owned a red dress. Trevor hated red on her, said it clashed with her skin tone. "Listen, about the money situation," Trevor continued, oblivious to his mistake. "I moved another $15,000 from the joint account today. She still hasn't noticed anything. I told you, Simone's so trusting it's almost boring. She believes every late night, every business trip, every excuse." The phone nearly slipped from Simone's hand. She gripped it tighter, her knuckles pale against her brown skin. Trevor laughed on the recording. That laugh she used to love. "My lawyer buddy said if I keep moving money slowly, it'll be harder to trace in the divorce. By the time she figures anything out, most of our assets will be secured. Then it's just you and me, Amber. No more hiding. No more boring Tuesday nights pretending I care about her day." Simone felt her lunch rising in her throat. "I'm thinking we pull the trigger in about 2 months, Trevor went on. "Clean break. I'll tell her I'm unhappy, need space, all that typical stuff. She'll cry, probably beg me to stay. But I'll be done. I'll already have my exit strategy ready. The apartment I showed you yesterday? I put the deposit down this morning. Our place. Just imagine it." There was a pause, then a kissing sound. "Gotta go. Meeting in 5. Can't wait to celebrate our 2-year anniversary next week. Who knew sneaking around could last this long? Love you, baby." The message ended. 2 years. 2 entire years. Simone sat frozen, her reflection staring back at her in the rearview mirror. She looked the same as she had an hour ago. Same dark brown eyes. Same smooth skin. Same neat braids pulled back in a ponytail. But everything inside her had shifted. She played the message again. Then again. Making sure she hadn't misunderstood. Making sure this wasn't some sick joke. But no. Trevor's voice was clear. His words were deliberate. His plan was methodical. $15,000. He'd moved $15,000 today alone. How much had he taken total? Their joint account was supposed to be for their future. For the house they were saving to buy. For the family they'd talked about starting. All lies. Simone looked at the date on her phone. Tuesday. He was right about one thing. It was a boring Tuesday. She'd been planning to make his favorite dinner tonight. Pot roast with those expensive potatoes he liked. She'd taken the meat out of the freezer this morning before work. Her hands started shaking. She gripped the steering wheel to steady them. 2 years. While she'd been working overtime at the hospital, picking up extra shifts to help with their savings, he'd been spending their money on another woman. While she'd been planning their future, he'd been planning his exit. Amber. The name echoed in her head. Who was Amber? Simone pulled up Trevor's social media, something she rarely did. She trusted him. Or she had. She scrolled through his recent photos. There. 3 posts down. A group photo from his company's holiday party last month. Trevor stood in the center with his arm around a petite woman with long blonde hair and a bright smile. The caption read, "Great night with the team." Simone zoomed in on the woman's face. She was young. Maybe 25. She wore a red dress. The red dress. Simone's vision blurred. She blinked hard, refusing to cry in a grocery store parking lot. She wouldn't give him that. Wouldn't give either of them that. She saved the voice memo to 3 different locations. Uploaded it to a private cloud account. Emailed it to herself. She took screenshots of Trevor's recent bank activity that she could access through their shared banking app. Every transaction. Every withdrawal. Every suspicious charge. Her phone buzzed. A text from Trevor, "Working late tonight. Don't wait up. Love you. Love you." The words felt like acid. Simone stared at the message for a long moment. Then she typed back, "Okay, honey. I'll keep dinner warm. Love you too." She hit send and watched the message deliver. If Trevor wanted to play games, she could play too. But she would play smarter. She would play to win. Simone started the car and pulled out of the parking lot. The groceries could wait in the cooler bags. She had phone calls to make. She needed a lawyer. A good one. She needed to understand exactly what Trevor had done and how to protect herself. As she drove, she kept glancing at her phone on the passenger seat. The voice memo sat there, innocent looking. Just a small audio file. but it contained everything. His confession. His mockery. His plan. Trevor had made one critical mistake. He'd gotten comfortable. Careless. He thought she was too trusting, too boring, too oblivious to notice. He was wrong. Simone turned onto the highway, her mind already 3 steps ahead. She wouldn't confront him yet. Wouldn't scream or throw things or give him any warning. She would be calm. Strategic. She would gather every piece of evidence she could find. And when she was ready, when she had everything she needed, she would walk away from this marriage with her head high and her future secure. Trevor wanted a clean break in 2 months? Simone would give him a break. Just not the kind he was expecting. Simone pulled into the driveway of the house she'd thought was their home. Now it just looked like a building. 4 walls and a roof. Nothing special. Nothing sacred. She grabbed the grocery bags from the back seat and walked to the front door, her movements automatic. Key in the lock. Push it open. Step inside. Close it behind her. The house was quiet. Trevor wouldn't be home for hours. Or so he said. She put the groceries away slowly, her mind racing while her hands moved through the familiar motions. Milk in the fridge. Bread in the pantry. Vegetables in the crisper drawer. When everything was put away, she stood in the kitchen and looked around. Really looked. At the granite countertops Trevor had insisted on during the renovation 3 years ago. At the expensive coffee maker he'd bought last month. At the wine rack full of bottles she didn't remember purchasing. How much of this had been paid for with money he was stealing from their joint account? She pulled out her phone and opened their banking app. She checked it 2 weeks ago and everything had seemed fine. But she hadn't been looking for problems then. Hadn't been searching for lies. Now she looked closer. The account balance was lower than she remembered. Not dramatically. Just enough to seem like normal spending if you weren't paying attention. 500 here. 800 there. 1,000 last week. She scrolled back further. Over the past 6 months, nearly $40,000 had been withdrawn or transferred in amounts small enough to avoid triggering alerts. Her contributions from her nursing salary kept coming in, keeping the account somewhat stable. But Trevor had been bleeding it dry. Simone sat down at the kitchen table, her legs suddenly weak. $40,000. She thought about all the overtime shifts she'd worked. All the time she'd said no to lunch with friends because they were saving money. All the time she'd bought generic brands instead of name brands to cut costs. While he'd been buying red dresses and paying deposits on apartments for his mistress. Her phone buzzed. A text from her best friend Nicole. "Girl, we still on for drinks Friday?" Simone stared at the message. She'd canceled on Nicole 3 times in the past month. Too tired. Too busy. Too focused on being a good wife. She typed back, "Yes. Definitely. I need to talk to you about something." 3 dots appeared immediately. "Everything okay?" "Not really. Friday. I'll explain. I'm here if you need me before then." "I know. Thank you." Simone set the phone down and stood up. She needed to start documenting everything. She went to their home office, a room Trevor had claimed as his space. She rarely came in here respecting his privacy. Privacy. The word almost made her laugh. She opened his desk drawers looking for anything useful. Bank statements. Credit card bills. Receipts. She found a folder marked personal and pulled it out. Inside were printouts of their joint account transactions. But these had notes in Trevor's handwriting. Next to several large withdrawals, he'd written A's rent, and A's car payment, and A's birthday gift. Amber. Simone took photos of every page with her phone. She opened his laptop, but it was password protected. She tried their anniversary date. Wrong. She tried his birthday. Wrong. She tried her birthday. Wrong. Of course. He probably didn't even remember her birthday anymore. She closed the laptop and continued searching. In the back of the bottom drawer she found another folder. This one had apartment listings. All 1-bedroom places in the downtown area. Expensive. Modern. The kind of place Trevor had always said was too impractical. One listing had a star drawn next to it. The Meridian Tower. Luxury building. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Rooftop pool. Simone photographed everything. Her phone alarm went off. 5:30. Trevor would be home by 7 if he was actually coming home. She had time. She went to their bedroom and looked through his closet. New clothes she didn't recognize. A designer watch she'd never seen him wear. A bottle of cologne that wasn't his usual scent. In the back of his nightstand drawer, hidden under old magazines, she found a second phone. Her breath caught. The phone was locked, but she could see notification previews on the screen. Messages from A, with heart emojis. Photos with thumbnails too small to make out clearly. Calendar events marked anniversary dinner and weekend getaway. Simone photographed the phone without touching it, careful to leave everything exactly as she'd found it. She put it back, covered it with the magazines, closed the drawer. She walked back to the kitchen and pulled out the pot roast. Put it in the roasting pan with potatoes and carrots. Slid it into the oven. Set the timer. Then she went upstairs, took a shower, and changed into comfortable clothes. By the time she came back down, the house smelled like dinner. Like normalcy. Like everything was fine. At 6:45, Trevor's car pulled into the driveway. Simone stood at the stove, stirring gravy, her heart pounding but her face calm. The front door opened. "Hey honey, I'm home." The same greeting he'd used for 8 years. The same cheerful tone. Like he hadn't spent the day planning her betrayal. "In the kitchen," she called back, her voice steady. Trevor walked in, loosening his tie. He looked tired. "Good. You should be tired from living a double life." "Something smells amazing," he said, kissing her cheek. His lips felt like ice. "Pot roast. Your favorite. You're the best." He grabbed a beer from the fridge. "How was your day?" Simone turned to face him, wooden spoon still in her hand. She looked at this man she'd married. This man she'd loved. This stranger wearing her husband's face. "My day was fine," she said, smiling. "Nothing special. Just a boring Tuesday." She watched his expression. No guilt. No hesitation. Just that easy smile he'd perfected. "Well, I'm glad to be home," he said. "Work was crazy today. Meetings back to back." "Meetings? Right. That's too bad," Simone said, turning back to the stove. "You work so hard." "Someone's got to pay the bills," Trevor joked, taking a long drink of his beer. Simone stirred the gravy, watching it swirl in the pan. Dark and thick and bitter. "Yes," she said quietly. "Someone does." They ate dinner together. Trevor talked about his day, careful to keep his lies vague. A difficult client. A project deadline. Stress about budget cuts. All safe topics. All meaningless. Simone nodded and smiled and asked appropriate questions. She cleared the plates. Made coffee. Suggested they watch a movie. Trevor agreed, already relaxed, already comfortable. Already convinced she suspected nothing. They sat on the couch, his arm around her shoulders, watching some action movie he'd chosen. Simone stared at the screen without seeing it. Her mind was already planning. Calculating. Preparing. Tomorrow she would call a divorce attorney. She would open her own bank account. She would start moving her money somewhere safe. And Trevor would keep thinking everything was fine. Keep thinking she was boring, trusting, oblivious. Let him think that. Let him underestimate her. It would make her victory that much sweeter. Simone sat in the law office, her hands folded in her lap, her back straight. The attorney across from her was a woman in her 50s named Patricia Reeves, with sharp eyes and an even sharper reputation. "Thank you for seeing me on such short notice," Simone said. Patricia leaned forward, her reading glasses perched on her nose. "You said on the phone that you have evidence of financial infidelity. Let's start there." Simone pulled out her tablet and brought up the voice memo. "I want you to hear something." She pressed play. Trevor's voice filled the office, casual and cruel. "She still hasn't noticed anything. I told you, Simone's so trusting it's almost boring." Patricia's expression didn't change, but her pen moved faster across her notepad. When the recording ended, Simone showed her the photographs. The bank statements with Trevor's notes. The apartment listings. The receipts. The screenshots of their joint account showing 6 months of suspicious withdrawals. Patricia studied everything carefully. "You've been thorough." "I'm a nurse. I know how to document." "Good." Patricia set down her pen. "Here's where we stand. The voice memo is excellent evidence. It shows intent to defraud you, mocks your trust, and outlines his plan to hide assets before filing for divorce. That gives us significant leverage. Can I protect what's left?" "Absolutely. First, we need to understand the full scope of the financial damage. I'm going to refer you to a forensic accountant who specializes in this kind of case. He'll trace every dollar." Patricia typed something on her computer. "Second, you need to stop contributing to that joint account immediately. Not suddenly. Gradually. Reduce your direct deposits over the next 2 weeks until you're only covering your agreed-upon share of household bills." "Won't he notice?" "Possibly. But by the time he does, we'll have a clearer picture of what he's hidden. And if he confronts you, you have a legitimate excuse. Your hospital cut overtime hours. You had unexpected medical bills. Car repair. Whatever. Just document everything." Simone nodded, taking mental notes. "Third, Patricia continued. Open your own account at a different bank. Transfer any personal money you have. Your inheritance from your grandmother. Any gifts. Any money that was solely yours before the marriage. Move it somewhere he can't access. I have about $50,000 from my grandmother. Patricia's eyebrows rose. In the joint account? Yes. I thought we were building a future together. We'll get that back. But secure it now. Today. Before he can move it first. Simone felt a weight lift slightly. She wasn't helpless. She had options. Fourth, I'm recommending you hire a private investigator. The affair is relevant to the divorce, especially in terms of asset distribution. If he's been using marital funds to support his mistress, we can make a strong case for financial misconduct. Do you have someone you recommend? Patricia slid a business card across the desk. Robert Chin. Former police detective. Discreet, professional, and thorough. Tell him I sent you. Simone took the card. How long will this take? Depends on how cooperative your husband is. But given what I've heard, I guess he'll fight. Men like this always think they can talk their way out of consequences. Patricia's expression hardened. They're usually wrong. I don't want to drag this out. I just want what's mine and a clean break. That's the goal. But be prepared for him to make this difficult. When he realizes you're not the trusting, boring wife he thinks you are, he'll likely become defensive. Maybe even aggressive. Simone thought about the man who'd kissed her cheek last night while planning to abandon her. I can handle difficult. I believe you can. Patricia stood up and extended her hand. Welcome to the first day of your new life, Simone. They shook hands and Simone left the office feeling more solid than she had in days. 2 hours later, she sat in a coffee shop across from Robert Chin, the private investigator. He was younger than she'd expected, maybe early 40s, with kind eyes that didn't match his serious demeanor. Patricia Reeves speaks highly of you, he said, ordering a black coffee. She seems very competent. The best. If she's taking your case, you're in good hands. He pulled out a tablet. Tell me about your husband. Simone gave him the basics. Trevor's full name. His workplace. His daily schedule. The mistress's name and what little she knew about Amber. The voice memo mentioned a 2-year anniversary next week, Simone said. I'm assuming they'll celebrate. Maybe that's a good opportunity to document things? Robert nodded, impressed. You're thinking like an investigator. Yes, that's exactly the kind of opportunity we look for. Do you know where they might go? No. But he has a second phone. I found it in his nightstand. I didn't touch it, but I saw message previews. Smart not to touch it. If you'd unlocked it, he might have known someone accessed it. Leave it where it is. I'll find out what I need through surveillance and financial records. He made notes on his tablet. Here's what I'll do. I'll conduct surveillance over the next 2 weeks. Document his movements. Confirm the affair. Identify where they meet, how often, and what he's spending. I'll also pull together a financial analysis of joint account activity, credit card statements, anything I can legally access. How long does this usually take? For a clear pattern? 2 to 3 weeks. But I've already got good starting evidence from what you've provided. He met her eyes. I have to ask, how are you holding up? The question surprised her. Most people had been clinical, professional. No one had asked about her feelings. I'm angry, she admitted. But I'm more angry at myself for not seeing it sooner. Don't do that. Deception works because the person lying knows exactly what you want to believe. You weaponized your trust. That's not your fault. Something in Simone's chest loosened slightly. Thank you for saying that. It's true. And for what it's worth, the fact that you're handling this so strategically tells me you're going to come out of this stronger than he expects. They talked for another 30 minutes about logistics. Robert gave her a secure email for sending updates. Told her to act normally around Trevor. Not to confront him or tip him off in any way. When they parted ways, Simone felt like she'd assembled a team. Patricia, Robert, and herself. 3 people working toward the same goal, truth and justice. That evening, Simone went to a different bank across town and opened a personal checking and savings account. The banker was friendly and efficient, asking no questions when Simone requested her statements be sent to her work email instead of the house. She transferred her inheritance. $50,000, moved in one transaction. It felt like pulling a piece of herself out of Trevor's reach. Next, she adjusted her direct deposit at work. Instead of everything going to the joint account, she split it. 60% to joint for bills. 40% to her new personal account. Then she went home and cooked dinner like nothing had changed. Trevor came home at 7, right on schedule. He kissed her cheek. complimented the food, talked about his day. Simone smiled and nodded and played her part perfectly. But inside she was counting down, building her case, preparing for war. Trevor thought he had 2 months to finalize his exit strategy. He had no idea Simone was already 10 steps ahead. Robert Chin called Simone at work exactly 2 weeks after their first meeting. She stepped into an empty break room to take the call. "I have your report," he said without preamble. "Can you meet me this afternoon?" "Yes." "Same coffee shop?" "No. Let's go somewhere more private." "My office." "4 o'clock." The seriousness in his tone made her stomach tighten. "I'll be there." Robert's office was in a nondescript building downtown. Inside, it was surprisingly comfortable. Leather chairs, warm lighting, walls lined with bookshelves. He gestured for her to sit and handed her a folder. "I'm going to walk you through this, but I want you to know up front, it's worse than you thought." Simone opened the folder. Inside were photographs. Trevor and Amber at restaurants. Trevor and Amber at the apartment building from the listings. Trevor and Amber at a jewelry store. "The affair has been going on for 2 years and 4 months, Robert began. They met at a work conference in Atlanta. She was a new hire at his company, administrative assistant in his department. It started as text messages, escalated to hotel meetings during lunch breaks, and eventually became a full-fledged second relationship. Simone stared at a photo of Trevor with his arm around Amber, both of them laughing. She'd never seen him look that happy. Not in years. "He's been spending approximately $3,000 a month on her," Robert continued. "Rent assistance, car payments, shopping trips, dinners, weekend getaways. All from your joint account or credit cards in both your names. $3,000 a month for over 2 years. That's $72,000 minimum. But it's actually more. I traced additional cash withdrawals that likely went to her as well. We're looking at close to $90,000 total." $90,000. Simone felt dizzy. Robert handed her another document. "This is where it gets interesting. Amber isn't just his mistress. She's also been helping him hide money. Look at this." He showed her bank statements for an account Simone had never seen before. An account in Trevor's name only opened 18 months ago. The balance was over $60,000. How did he hide this? He set up the account using his work address. All statements go there. He's been funneling money from your joint account in small amounts, then transferring it here. Classic financial infidelity pattern. Simone thought about all the time she'd logged into their joint account and thought everything was fine. All the time she trusted the balance was accurate. "Can we get that money back?" "Yes. In the divorce, you're entitled to half of all marital assets, including hidden accounts. And given that he acquired it through deception, Patricia will argue for you to receive more than half as compensation for his misconduct." Robert showed her more photos. Trevor and Amber apartment hunting. Trevor and Amber at a furniture store. Trevor and Amber at what looked like a realtor's office. "He's serious about leaving," Robert said. "But here's the thing, he doesn't plan to file for divorce himself. He plans to make you so miserable that you file. That way he can play the victim to friends and family. Poor Trevor, his wife left him." Simone's hands clenched into fists. "That's why he's been so distant lately. So cold." "Exactly. It's a manipulation tactic. Make you think the marriage is failing naturally so when he leaves, no one blames him." Robert's expression softened. "But we have all of this documented now. When the truth comes out, no one will question what really happened." Simone looked through the rest of the folder. There were receipts for jewelry, hotel records, restaurant bills, a paper trail of betrayal. What about Amber? Who is she? Robert pulled up a file on his computer. Amber Preston, 26 years old, originally from Ohio. Moved here 3 years ago. Works as an administrative assistant at Trevor's company, makes about $45,000 a year. She has student loan debt and credit card debt. Your husband has been helping her pay both. So she's with him for money. Partially. But from what I observed, she seems genuinely attached to him. They act like a couple. Very comfortable together. Lots of physical affection. She posts about him on social media without naming him, but it's obvious who she means. Simone felt nauseous. Does she know about me? Yes. I overheard them talking at a restaurant. She knows he's married. She thinks he's leaving you for her. He's told her you're difficult, that the marriage has been dead for years, that you're the reason he's unhappy. Robert paused. All lies, obviously. But she believes them. So she thinks she's the victim in this story. The other woman waiting for her man to be free. Essentially, yes. Simone closed the folder. I want to see where they meet. Can you show me? Are you sure? Sometimes it's easier not to know the details. I need to see it. All of it. Robert nodded and pulled up a map on his computer. They meet at the Meridian Tower apartment 3 times a week. He has a key. They also frequent Bella Vista restaurant on Tuesdays, Cascade Bar on Fridays, and they've taken 2 weekend trips in the past month. One to a resort in the mountains, one to the coast. He showed her photos of each location. The apartment was modern and expensive, exactly the kind of place Trevor had always claimed was wasteful. The restaurants were upscale, romantic. The resort photos showed them on a balcony overlooking mountains, Trevor's arms wrapped around Amber from behind. This report, Robert said, tapping the folder, combined with the voice memo and the financial records, gives you everything you need for the divorce. Patricia can use this to argue for a significantly favorable settlement. When can I give this to her? I'll send her a copy today. But you should meet with her this week to discuss next steps. Usually at this point, we wait for the right moment to confront. You want to strike when you have maximum advantage and when he has minimum warning. Simone thought about Trevor at home tonight, probably texting Amber while sitting next to her on the couch. Probably planning their next date while eating food she'd cooked. I want to wait until I have everything secured, she said. My money. My documents. Everything I need to walk away clean. Smart. Give yourself another 2 weeks. Make sure every important item you own is somewhere safe. Get copies of all important documents: birth certificate, passport, social security card, marriage license, tax returns. Store them somewhere he can't access. My friend Nicole has a spare key to my place. I'll give her a box to keep. Perfect. Also, change your passwords on everything. Email, social media, banking, anything he might try to access once you confront him. Don't do it all at once, that might tip him off. But gradually update security over the next week. Simone stood up, the folder in her hands. Thank you, Robert. For everything. You're handling this incredibly well, he said. Most people fall apart when they see evidence like this. I cried for 3 days after I heard that voice memo, Simone admitted. But I'm done crying. Now I'm just focused on getting out. That's the right mindset. And remember, when this is over, you'll have your life back. He'll have lost everything. Simone nodded. She walked out of Robert's office with the folder under her arm, evidence of 2 years of lies, and felt something shift inside her. The hurt was still there. But underneath it, something stronger was growing. Determination. That night, Trevor came home whistling. Actually whistling. Good day? Simone asked from the kitchen. Great day. Closed a big deal at work. He grabbed her waist and kissed her neck, a gesture that used to make her feel loved. Now it just felt like theater. That's wonderful, honey. We should celebrate. Want to go out this weekend? Simone almost laughed. He probably wanted to go out so he could cancel last minute and spend the time with Amber instead. Let's just stay in, she said. I've been so tired lately. Whatever you want, babe. Babe. He'd started calling her that recently. She hated it. He knew she hated it. But he kept doing it anyway, probably because Amber liked being called babe. They ate dinner. Trevor talked about his day, carefully edited. She now knew. She asked polite questions. Played the role of supportive wife. After dinner, Trevor went to his office to catch up on work. Simone knew he was really texting Amber, probably telling her how boring his evening was, how he couldn't wait to see her. She went upstairs to their bedroom and opened her closet. Looked at her clothes, her shoes, her personal belongings. She started making a mental list of what mattered. What she'd take when she left. Most of it didn't matter anymore. They were just things. Objects in a house that had stopped being a home the moment Trevor decided to betray her. What mattered was her dignity, her future, her freedom. And she was going to claim all three. Over the next 2 weeks, Simone moved through her life like a ghost. Present but not really there. Going through motions while her mind calculated every detail of her exit strategy. She packed a box of important documents. Birth certificate, social security card, passport, medical records, professional licenses, insurance papers, tax returns from the past 7 years, her grandmother's jewelry, photo albums from before the marriage. Everything that mattered, everything that was solely hers. She drove the box to Nicole's house on a Saturday morning while Trevor was supposedly at the gym. You sure you're okay? Nicole asked, taking the box. You seem different. I'm fine. Just organizing some things. Can you keep this safe for me? Of course. But girl, what's going on? You've been weird for weeks. Simone wanted to tell her. Wanted to break down and share everything. But not yet. Not until it was done. I'll explain soon. I promise. Just trust me. Nicole studied her face. You know I'm here for you, right? Whatever you need. I know. And I appreciate it more than you realize. At work, Simone changed her direct deposit again. Now only 30% went to the joint account. 70% went to her personal account. She told Trevor the hospital had changed their payment structure, forcing employees to split deposits between accounts for improved tracking. He'd barely listened to the explanation. She changed all her passwords. Memo. Social media. Her personal bank account. Her retirement account. Everything now had new, complex passwords Trevor couldn't guess. She made copies of their joint credit card statements going back 3 years. Highlighted every suspicious charge. Every hotel. Every restaurant. Every unusual purchase. She pulled their tax returns and saw that Trevor had filed jointly without showing her all the details. She'd signed where he told her to sign, trusting him. She found deductions for business expenses that looked suspiciously like personal spending. She contacted a financial advisor and set up a consultation. When she met with him, she brought all her documentation. I'm getting divorced, she said simply. I need to understand how to protect myself financially and plan for my future. The advisor, a man named Gerald with gray hair and a calm manner, reviewed everything. You've done excellent preparation work. Let me ask, do you have a career you can support yourself with? I'm a registered nurse. I work at Memorial Hospital. I make $72,000 a year. Good. Stable income, respectable salary. Do you have debt? Student loans. About $20,000 left. I've been paying them down aggressively. Keep doing that. Priority 1 after the divorce is becoming completely debt-free. No financial ties to him whatsoever. They spent 2 hours building a financial plan. Emergency fund. Retirement contributions. Investment strategy. Plans for buying her own place eventually. The settlement from the divorce should give you a solid foundation, Gerald said. Based on what you've shown me, you're entitled to at least half of marital assets plus reimbursement for funds he misappropriated. That could be substantial. I don't want his money long-term. I just want what's rightfully mine so I can start over. That's a healthy mindset. And with your income and financial discipline, you'll be fine. Better than fine. Simone left his office feeling capable. She could do this. She could build a life on her own terms. At home, she began subtly separating her belongings from Trevor's. Not obviously. Just quietly reclaiming space. She moved her favorite books to a box in her car trunk. Moved her important toiletries to a bag she kept in her gym locker. Moved her nice jewelry to Nicole's house. Trevor noticed nothing. He was too busy living his double life. She watched him some evenings, this man she'd loved, and tried to remember what she'd seen in him. He wasn't handsome, not really. Average height. Average build. Thinning hair he tried to hide with expensive cuts. He had a nice smile, she'd give him that. And he could be charming when he wanted something. But there was no substance underneath. Just ego and selfishness and a fundamental inability to value anyone but himself. How had she not seen it before? Or had she seen it and convinced herself she was wrong? Had she ignored red flags because she wanted the marriage to work? It didn't matter now. All that mattered was getting out. On a Wednesday evening, Trevor announced he had a work trip coming up. Regional conference in Denver. 3 days. Should be boring, but the company's paying, so might as well make the most of it. When? Simone asked, though she already suspected the answer. Next weekend. Friday through Sunday. She checked the calendar on her phone. Next Saturday would be exactly 2 years and 4 months since Trevor and Amber started their affair. Their anniversary, Robert had said. Trevor wasn't going to Denver. He was taking Amber on a romantic weekend trip, probably to some expensive resort, paid for with marital funds, celebrating 2 years of betraying his wife. That's fine, Simone said calmly. I'll probably catch up with Nicole anyway. Haven't seen her in a while. Great. You should. You work too much. She worked too much. That was rich coming from the man who'd been stealing thousands of dollars while she picked up overtime shifts. You're right, she said. I should make more time for friends. That night, after Trevor fell asleep, Simone lay awake staring at the ceiling. She thought about the first time they'd met. A hospital fundraiser. He'd been funny, attentive, interested in her work. They'd dated for a year before he proposed. The wedding had been beautiful. Small but elegant. She'd felt so happy that day. When had it changed? When had he stopped seeing her as a person and started seeing her as an obstacle? Or had he always been this way, and she'd just been too hopeful to notice? It didn't matter. She couldn't change the past. She could only control what happened next. And what happened next was going to be on her terms. She texted Patricia Reeves, "He's planning a trip with her next weekend. I want to move forward with the confrontation the Monday after he gets back. Will you be available?" Patricia responded within minutes, "Absolutely. Let's meet Friday to prepare. You'll need to be ready for his reaction." "I'm ready. I believe you are. See you Friday at 2 p.m. Simone set the phone down and closed her eyes. 10 more days. 10 more days of pretending. 10 more days of playing the role of oblivious wife. Then she would burn this whole charade to the ground. Friday afternoon, Simone sat in Patricia's office, running through the plan one last time. On the desk between them lay 3 neat folders. One containing all financial evidence, one containing Robert's surveillance report and photographs, and one containing the drafted divorce papers. "He's leaving for his trip this evening," Simone said. "He thinks he's going to Denver for a conference. Really, he's taking Amber to a resort in the mountains." Robert confirmed the reservation. Patricia nodded. "And Monday morning you'll meet him here at 9 a.m. I've prepared a conference room. It'll be you, me, him, and all this evidence. I'll have the divorce papers ready for him to sign. What if he refuses?" "He can refuse to sign initially. But once he sees what we have, he'll understand he has no leverage. The voice memo alone proves intent to defraud. The financial records prove actual fraud. The surveillance photos prove infidelity and misuse of marital assets. Any judge will rule in your favor." Simone looked at the folders. Her entire marriage reduced to 3 manila folders. "How do I get him here without him suspecting?" "You're going to send him a text Monday morning. Tell him you need to discuss something important regarding finances. Ask him to meet you at your attorney's office. That'll make him nervous, but he'll assume you've only just noticed something wrong with the accounts. He'll think he can still talk his way out of it. He's good at talking his way out of things. Most cheaters are. But talking doesn't work when you have this much evidence." Patricia tapped the folders. "He'll try to explain. He'll probably get angry. He might even cry and apologize. Don't let any of it move you. Stay calm, stay focused, and stick to the facts." "I've been practicing. I know what I need to say." Patricia smiled slightly. "You've handled this with remarkable composure, Simone. Most people fall apart. You've treated this like a military operation. I learned a long time ago that emotion without strategy just makes you a victim. I refuse to be a victim." "Good. Hold on to that." Patricia opened the divorce papers. "Let's review the terms one more time. You're requesting 50% of all marital assets, including the hidden account. You're requesting full reimbursement for the $90,000 he spent on Amber. You're requesting the house be sold and proceeds split equally, or you buy him out at market value. You're requesting he be responsible for half of marital debt. You're requesting separate personal debt remain separate. And I don't want alimony." Patricia looked up. "You're entitled to it given the length of the marriage and his income. I don't want to be tied to him financially. I want a clean break. I can support myself." "All right, if that's what you want. But I'm putting in a clause that he cannot pursue alimony from you either, given that you'll be receiving less than you're entitled to." "Good." They went over every detail. Asset division. Retirement account splits. How they'd handle the house. What items belong to whom. "Do you have somewhere to stay?" Patricia asked. "After you serve him, he might make staying in the house difficult. Nicole has a guest room. I've already talked to her about it, though I didn't give her details yet. I'll move my essential things there Monday morning before the meeting." "Smart. And your work knows nothing about this?" "No. I haven't told anyone except you, Robert, and the financial advisor. I want it done before people start asking questions." Patricia closed the folders and met Simone's eyes. "You're going to be fine. Better than fine. This is going to hurt for a while, but you're going to come out of it stronger." "I know." And Simone did know. She'd already started to feel it, that strength building underneath the hurt. That certainty that she was making the right choice. "One last thing," Patricia said. "When you confront him, he may try to turn this around on you. Blame you for the affair. Say you weren't attentive enough or affectionate enough or whatever excuse cheaters use. Don't engage with that. It's manipulation. The affair is 100% his choice and his responsibility." "I won't engage. I'm not interested in his excuses." "Good. Then I'll see you Monday morning at 9. Bring your strength and your clarity. Leave your doubt at home." They shook hands and Simone left the office with a strange sense of calm. Everything was in place. Every piece positioned exactly where it needed to be. Now she just had to execute the plan. That evening she watched Trevor pack for his fake conference. He was whistling again, excited about his romantic weekend with Amber. "You have everything?" she asked from the bedroom doorway. "I think so. Laptop, charger, nice clothes for the dinners." He zipped up his bag. "You'll be okay here alone?" "I'll be fine. I'm having Nicole over tomorrow anyway." "Good. You should have fun." He kissed her forehead, a gesture so casual and empty it barely registered. "I'll call you when I land." "You don't have to. I know you'll be busy." "I want to." Another lie. He had no intention of calling. He'd text once or twice with vague updates, then ignore her until Sunday evening when he was back in town. She followed him downstairs and stood at the door while he loaded his bag into the car. "Love you," he called out, waving. "Love you too," she replied automatically. She watched his car disappear down the street. Watched the taillights fade into the distance. And then she closed the door, locked it, and smiled. Let him have his weekend. Let him and Amber play house at their expensive resort. Let him think he was winning, that his plan was working, that he was so smart and she was so oblivious. Monday morning he would learn the truth. Saturday, Simone spent the entire day with Nicole. They got brunch, went shopping, saw a movie. Normal friend things that Simone hadn't done in months because she'd been too focused on being the perfect wife for a man who didn't deserve it. "You seem different," Nicole observed over lunch. "Lighter, somehow." "Do I?" "Yeah. Like you've made a decision about something." Simone sipped her water. "I have. I'll tell you about it soon. I promise." "Is it about Trevor?" "'Cause girl, I've been worried. You haven't seemed happy in a long time." "I wasn't happy. I just didn't realize it. And now I know what I need to do." Nicole reached across the table and squeezed her hand. "Whatever it is, I support you. You know that, right?" "I do. And I'm grateful." Simone squeezed back. "Can I ask you something? If I needed to stay with you for a while, would that be okay?" Nicole's eyes widened. "Of course. My guest room is always open." "Are you leaving him?" "Monday. I'm serving him with divorce papers Monday morning." "Oh my God. Simone. What happened?" "Everything. Nothing. I'll explain it all Monday evening. But yes, I'm leaving him. And I need somewhere to stay while I figure out the house situation." "You can stay as long as you need. Seriously. There's no rush." Nicole's expression shifted from surprise to something fiercer. "Did he cheat?" "Among other things." "That bastard. I knew something was off about him. He always seems so, I don't know, fake." "He was. I just didn't see it." "Well, good for you for getting out. That takes guts." They spent the rest of the day talking about anything except Trevor. Movies they wanted to see. Books they were reading. Nicole's job drama. Normal things. Human things. Simone felt like herself again. Like a person with interests and opinions and a future that didn't revolve around a man who didn't value her. Sunday evening, Trevor texted, "Heading to the airport. Flight lands around 9. See you tonight." Simone replied, "Safe travels." She spent the evening packing. Not obviously. Just gathering essential items into bags. Clothes for a week. Toiletries. Laptop. Medications. Anything she'd need for the immediate future. She loaded everything into her car, hidden in the trunk under a blanket. The house felt empty. Like it already knew she was leaving. She walked through the rooms one last time. The kitchen where she'd cooked hundreds of dinners. The living room where they'd watched movies. The bedroom where she'd slept next to a man she no longer knew. None of it felt like hers anymore. It was just a house. Just walls and furniture and empty space. At 9:30, Trevor's car pulled into the driveway. She heard him come in, drop his bag by the door. "Honey, I'm home." She came downstairs. "How was the trip?" "Exhausting. Too many meetings, not enough sleep." He looked tan, relaxed, happy. "But productive." "How was your weekend?" "Good. Quiet. Spent time with Nicole." "That's great." He kissed her cheek. "I'm beat. Going to shower and crash." "Okay." She watched him head upstairs, still lying, still playing his role. Still thinking he'd gotten away with everything. After he fell asleep, Simone lay awake one last time in the bed they'd shared for 8 years. She felt nothing. No sadness. No anger. Just readiness. Tomorrow everything would change. Tomorrow she would take her life back. Monday morning, Simone woke up before Trevor. She got ready quietly, professional clothes, minimal makeup, hair pulled back. She looked at herself in the mirror. The same face she'd seen her whole life. But the eyes were different now. Stronger. Clear. She went downstairs and made coffee. Poured 2 cups. Set one in front of Trevor when he came down. "You're up early," he said, yawning. "Couldn't sleep." "Not a lie. Everything okay?" "We need to talk about finances today. Can you meet me at my attorney's office at 9? Trevor froze, coffee cup halfway to his mouth. "Your attorney?" "What attorney?" "Patricia Reeves. I've been consulting with her about some financial concerns. I need you there to help clarify some things." She watched him process this. Saw the calculations behind his eyes. He was trying to figure out what she knew, how much trouble he was in. "What kind of concerns?" His voice was casual, but his grip on the coffee cup tightened. "I'd rather discuss it with both of you present. It's complicated." She slid a piece of paper across the counter with the address. 9 a.m. "Please don't be late. Simone, if something's wrong, we can handle it ourselves. We don't need lawyers." "I disagree." 9 a.m. Trevor. She grabbed her purse and walked out, leaving him standing in the kitchen with questions he couldn't ask without revealing he knew exactly what concerns she might have. Simone arrived at Patricia's office at 8:30. She'd already dropped off 2 bags of belongings at Nicole's house with a note. "Staying with you starting today. We'll explain tonight." Patricia met her in the reception area. "You ready?" "Yes." "Remember, stay calm. Let the evidence do the talking. Don't get drawn into arguments." They went to the conference room. It was professional, neutral. A long table, comfortable chairs, windows overlooking the city. The 3 folders sat on the table. Divorce papers. Financial evidence. Surveillance report. At exactly 9 a.m. the receptionist called. "Trevor Harrison is here." "Send him in," Patricia said. Simone sat with her hands folded on the table, breathing slowly. Steady. Trevor walked in. He was dressed for work. Suit, tie, polished shoes. He looked nervous but trying to hide it behind confidence. "What's this about?" he asked, looking between Simone and Patricia. "Please sit down, Mr. Harrison," Patricia said. "I'm Patricia Reeves, Mrs. Harrison's divorce attorney." Trevor's face went white. "Divorce? Simone, what?" "Sit down, Trevor," Simone said quietly. He sat, eyes locked on her. "What's going on? If this is about the money, I can explain." "Oh, you'll explain." Patricia opened the first folder. "But first, I want you to listen to something." She pulled out a small speaker and pressed play on her phone. Trevor's voice filled the room. "Baby, I can't stop thinking about last night. The way you looked in that red dress I bought you." Simone watched Trevor's expression transform. Fear. Panic. The recording continued. "She still hasn't noticed anything. I told you, Simone's so trusting it's almost boring." Trevor reached for the speaker. "Turn that off." "Sit down," Patricia said sharply. "We're not finished." The recording played through to the end. Every word. Every mocking comment. Every plan to steal from Simone and abandon her. When it ended, silence filled the room. "That was sent to my phone 3 weeks ago," Simone said. Her voice was steady. "Come. You meant to send it to Amber. But you sent it to me instead." Trevor's hands shook. "Simone, I can explain. It wasn't. Don't." She held up her hand. "Don't lie anymore. I know everything." Patricia opened the second folder. "These are financial records showing $90,000 of marital funds spent on your mistress over the past 2 years. Rent, car payments, shopping, trips, jewelry. All documented." She spread the papers across the table. Receipts. Bank statements. Credit card bills. All highlighted. All damning. "This is a statement for an account Mrs. Harrison knew nothing about. An account you opened using your work address. $63,000, acquired through deception and hidden from your wife." Trevor stared at the papers, his face gray. "And these," Patricia opened the third folder, "are surveillance photos from the past 3 weeks." She laid out photo after photo. Trevor and Amber at restaurants. At the apartment. Shopping. The weekend trip to the resort. Him with his arm around her. Kissing her. Looking at her the way he used to look at Simone. "Her name is Amber Preston," Patricia continued. 26. Works at your company. You've been having an affair with her for 2 years and 4 months. You spent this past weekend with her at Mountain Vista Resort celebrating your anniversary. Trevor put his head in his hands. "Oh God." "Look at me," Simone said. He raised his head. His eyes were red. "You mocked me," she said. "Called me boring. Called me trusting like it was a weakness. You stole from me. You lied to me. You planned to abandon me and make me think it was my fault. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. You were thinking you could get away with it. You were thinking I was too stupid to notice. No, that's not. Don't lie to me anymore, Trevor. Just don't. Patricia slid the divorce papers across the table. These are the terms. 50% of all marital assets, including the hidden account. Full reimbursement for the $90,000 spent on Miss Preston. The house to be sold with proceeds split equally, or Mrs. Harrison buys you out. You're responsible for half of marital debt. No alimony on either side. Sign them. Trevor picked up the papers with shaking hands. This is everything. You're taking everything. I'm taking what's mine, Simone corrected. You're the one who took everything when you decided to steal from our marriage and give it to someone else. Can we talk about this? Just us. Without lawyers. No. Simone, please. 8 years. We've been together 8 years. That has to mean something. She looked at him, really looked at him, and felt nothing. No love. No anger. Just emptiness where her feelings for him used to be. It meant something, she said. Past tense. You destroyed it. Not me. You. Trevor turned to Patricia. This is too much. The courts won't give her this much. Actually, they will. You committed fraud, Mr. Harrison. You hid assets. You misappropriated marital funds. Any judge will rule in her favor, and probably award her more than what we're asking. These terms are generous. I suggest you take them. And if I don't? Then we go to court. We present all of this evidence. Your employer will likely be subpoenaed, as Miss Preston works there, and you may have misused company resources for the affair. Your friends and family will learn what you did. Everything will become public record. Is that what you want? Trevor's jaw clenched. You plan this. You've been planning this for weeks. 3 weeks, Simone confirmed. Since the moment you sent me that voice memo. Every day since then, I've been building the case against you. Every night I smiled at you and cooked dinner and acted like everything was fine. I was actually documenting your betrayal. You thought I was boring and trusting? I was strategic. Something like respect flickered across Trevor's face before it hardened into anger. So what, you're just going to walk away? After everything we built together? You walked away first. You just didn't tell me. You were going to drain our accounts and leave me with nothing. Simone stood up. I'm just doing what you were planning to do. The difference is I'm doing it honestly. Patricia handed Trevor a pen. Sign the papers, Mr. Harrison. He stared at them for a long moment. Then, with sharp, angry movements, he signed each page. Slashed his signature across the bottom. Threw the pen down. There. Happy? No, Simone said. But I will be. She took the signed papers from Patricia and walked toward the door. Simone, wait. Trevor stood up. Are we really doing this? Is this really over? She turned back. It was over 2 years ago. You just forgot to tell me. I made mistakes, but we can fix this. Go to counseling. Start over. No. Why not? People get past affairs. People rebuild. Because I don't want to. Because you're not worth it. Because I deserve better than a man who lies to my face and laughs about it with his mistress. She met his eyes. We're done, Trevor. Accept it. She walked out of the conference room. Patricia followed, closing the door behind them. In the hallway, Simone finally let out the breath she'd been holding. You did beautifully, Patricia said. That was one of the most controlled confrontations I've ever witnessed. When will the divorce be final? 60 days minimum by law. But since he signed the papers, we can start the process immediately. I'll file this afternoon. Good. Simone looked at the papers in her hand. Proof that her marriage was over. Proof that she was taking her life back. Thank you, Patricia. For everything. You did the hard work. I just helped facilitate it. Patricia smiled. What will you do now? I'm staying with a friend. I'll go to work like normal. I'll start planning my future. Simone felt lighter than she had in years. I'll be free. She walked out of the law office into the bright morning sun. Behind her, her marriage lay in ruins. Ahead of her, possibility stretched out like an open road. And for the first time in 3 weeks, Simone felt like she could breathe. The 60 days that followed were the longest of Simone's life. Not because she regretted her decision, but because Trevor fought her at every turn. He hired his own attorney, an aggressive man named Richard Banks who specialized in making divorces difficult. They contested everything. The asset split. The house. The reimbursement for money spent on Amber. They claimed Simone was exaggerating the financial misconduct. They argued the voice memo was inadmissible. They demanded more time. Patricia met each challenge with cold precision. "They're stalling," she explained during one of their many meetings. "They hope you'll get tired and settle for less. But we have time and evidence on our side. Let them waste their money on legal fees." The court date was set for 6 weeks out. In the meantime, Simone continued living with Nicole, working her shifts at the hospital and rebuilding her sense of self. She told Nicole everything one evening over wine. "Oh my God," Nicole kept saying. "Oh my God, Simone. That voice memo. The hidden money. All of it. How are you so calm? Because falling apart won't help. Being strategic will. You're amazing. Seriously." Most people would have confronted him immediately or tried to make it work. "I'm not most people. And it wasn't worth making work." Simone sipped her wine. "The man I married doesn't exist anymore. Maybe he never did. Either way, I'm done trying to fix something that was broken from the start." Nicole raised her glass. "To new beginnings and leaving trash where it belongs." They clinked glasses, and Simone felt grateful for friends who supported her without judgment. At work, Simone told only her supervisor what was happening. She needed someone to know in case Trevor tried to cause problems. "Take whatever time you need," her supervisor said. "And if he shows up here, security will handle it." "Thank you. I don't think he will, but I appreciate it." "How are you holding up?" "Better than I expected. Some days are hard. But mostly I just feel relieved." "That's good. That's healthy." Her supervisor smiled. "And for what it's worth, I think you're incredibly brave." Simone hadn't thought of it as bravery, just necessity. But she appreciated the support. Trevor tried to contact her directly several times. Texts saying they should talk. Calls she didn't answer. Emails begging for another chance. Patricia advised her not to respond. "Everything goes through me now. Don't give him any ammunition to use against you." So Simone blocked his number. Blocked his email. Created boundaries that should have existed years ago. 3 weeks before the court date, Trevor's attorney requested mediation. They wanted to settle outside of court. "Why?" Simone asked Patricia. "Because they know they'll lose in court. The evidence is overwhelming. They want to negotiate better terms in mediation." "I'm not negotiating. The terms are fair." "I know. But we have to attend the mediation. It's part of the process. Don't worry, I won't let them bully you." The mediation was held in a neutral office downtown. Simone sat across from Trevor for the first time since the confrontation. He looked terrible. Thinner. Dark circles under his eyes. Defeated. She felt nothing. His attorney opened with a long speech about how Trevor had made mistakes but deserved compassion. How the $90,000 reimbursement was excessive. How Simone was being vindictive. Patricia responded with facts. Mr. Harrison committed fraud. He hid assets. He planned to abandon his wife with nothing. The reimbursement doesn't even account for interest or emotional damages. If anything, Mrs. Harrison is being generous. Trevor's attorney tried different angles. Could they reduce the reimbursement? Could they split the house differently? Could they extend the timeline? "No, no, and no," Patricia said. "Our terms stand. Sign them or see you in court." Trevor finally spoke. "Simone, please. This will ruin me financially. You should have thought of that before you spent $90,000 on your mistress. I know I messed up. But this is cruel." "No, Trevor. What you did was cruel. This is justice." The mediation lasted 4 hours. Trevor's attorney tried everything. Sympathy. Anger. Logic. Bargaining. Patricia shut down every attempt. Finally, Trevor's attorney pulled him aside for a private conversation. When they came back, Trevor looked resigned. "We'll accept the terms," his attorney said. "But we want it on record that Mr. Harrison believes this settlement is unfair." "Noted," Patricia said dryly. "We'll file the agreement this week." Simone stood up to leave. Trevor reached for her arm. "Wait, can we just talk? For 1 minute?" She looked at his hand on her arm until he removed it. "There's nothing to talk about. I still love you." The words should have meant something. Should have sparked some reaction. They didn't. "No, you don't. You love the idea of not being caught. You love not facing consequences. But you don't love me. You never did." "That's not true. I made mistakes, but I did love you." Past tense. He hesitated. "I do love you." "Then you have a strange way of showing it." Simone picked up her purse. "Goodbye, Trevor." "Wait, what about Amber? Did you know she left me? After everything came out, she just left. Said she didn't sign up for this drama." Simone almost laughed. "What did you think would happen? Did you think she'd stand by you through your divorce? She was with you because you had money and you were exciting. Now you have neither. So that's it? You just walk away and I lose everything? You already lost everything when you decided to betray me. I'm just making it official. She walked out. Didn't look back. Didn't care what he said next. Patricia caught up with her in the parking lot. You okay? I'm fine. Better than fine. Simone unlocked her car. When will the divorce be final? 2 more weeks. I'll file the settlement agreement tomorrow. The judge will review it and sign off. Then it's done. Good. I'm ready to move on. You already have, Patricia observed. You're one of the strongest women I've ever worked with. I'm just tired of being treated like I don't matter. Trevor made me feel invisible in my own marriage. I'm done being invisible. 2 weeks later, Simone received the email from Patricia. It's official. Divorce finalized. You're free. She was at work when it came through. She read it twice, let the words sink in, and felt a weight lift from her shoulders. Free. That evening, she met Nicole for dinner to celebrate. How does it feel? Nicole asked. Weird. Good. Scary. All of it at once. What's next? Simone thought about it. First, I'm buying out Trevor's half of the house. It's mine now. Then I'm going to renovate it exactly how I want it. Make it feel like mine, not ours. What about dating? Maybe eventually. But not yet. Right now, I just want to focus on me. On building the life I want. I think that's perfect. Nicole raised her glass. To Simone. The strongest woman I know. They toasted, and Simone felt something shift inside her. The hurt was still there, would probably be there for a while. But underneath it was something stronger. Hope. 6 months after the divorce was finalized, Simone stood in her newly renovated house and smiled. The space was completely different now. Fresh paint. New furniture. Her style instead of compromise. She'd bought Trevor out using part of her settlement money. The rest she'd invested carefully, following Gerald's advice. She was debt-free except for the mortgage. Her savings account was healthy. Her retirement was on track. More importantly, she felt like herself again. She'd started going to therapy, working through years of feeling invisible in her own marriage. Her therapist helped her understand that Trevor's betrayal wasn't her fault. That she hadn't been boring or insufficient. That she'd been in a relationship with someone incapable of real partnership. You gave everything to someone who didn't deserve it, her therapist said. Now you get to decide what you give and who deserves it. It was liberating. Simone also reconnected with old friends she'd neglected during the marriage. Book club friends. College friends. Women who reminded her that she was interesting and valuable and worth knowing. At work, she'd been promoted to senior nurse. More responsibility, better pay, more influence. She was considering going back to school for her nurse practitioner license. Building a career she was proud of. She'd also started consulting on the side, helping other women navigate divorce. Patricia connected her with clients who needed someone to talk to, someone who understood what it felt like to discover betrayal and have to rebuild. You're good at this, Patricia told her during lunch one day. Have you thought about making it official? Maybe starting a small business. Maybe, Simone said. I like helping people. And I understand the legal side now. Could be something. Think about it. You could make a real difference. Simone was thinking about it. Thinking about a lot of things. For the first time in years, the future felt open. Full of possibility instead of obligation. One Saturday, she ran into someone from her past. Damon. They'd gone to nursing school together, stayed friendly but lost touch after graduation. He was shopping at the same farmer's market, looking at produce. Simone? Simone Carter? She turned. It took her a moment to place him, then she smiled. Damon. Oh my God, how are you? They hugged. You look good. Older, more settled, but still had that easy smile she remembered. I'm great. Working at St. Luke's now. You. Still at Memorial. Senior nurse as of 3 months ago. That's amazing. Congratulations. He paused. Hey, do you have time for coffee? I'd love to catch up. Simone almost said no out of habit. Then stopped herself. Why not? It was just coffee with an old friend. Sure. I'd like that. They grabbed coffee at a nearby cafe and spent 2 hours talking. About work. About life. About everything that had changed since nursing school. Damon was divorced too. Had been for a year. No kids. It had been amicable, he said. They just wanted different things. What about you? He asked. I remember you got married right after graduation. Divorced. 6 months ago. Definitely not amicable. I'm sorry. Don't be. Best decision I ever made. They talked more. Laughed. Shared stories. It felt easy. Natural. No pressure. When they parted ways, Damon asked, "Can I get your number? I'd like to do this again sometime." Simone hesitated. Not because she didn't want to, but because she wanted to be careful. Wanted to make sure she was ready. "Let me give you mine," she said. "Text me. We'll figure it out." He smiled. "I'll do that." She walked away feeling lighter. She wasn't ready for a relationship. Might not be for a long time. But having coffee with someone who saw her as interesting and valuable? That felt good. Over the next few months, she and Damon became friends. They'd meet for lunch occasionally. Text about work stuff. Keep things light and easy. No pressure. No expectations. Just two people enjoying each other's company. One evening after they'd gone to a movie, Damon walked her to her car. "I have a question," he said. "And you can absolutely say no. But would you want to have dinner with me sometime? Like an actual date?" Simone looked at him. Really looked. He was handsome. Kind. Respectful. He listened when she talked. He never pushed. "I'd like that," she said. "But I need you to know, I'm taking things slow. Really slow. The divorce was complicated. I understand. Slow is good. Slow is fine." He smiled. "I just enjoy spending time with you. Everything else can figure itself out." They went on their first official date 2 weeks later. Dinner at a nice restaurant. Conversation that flowed easily. No awkward silences. No performance. At the end of the night, Damon walked her to her door. "I had a great time," he said. "Me too. Can we do it again?" "Yes." He kissed her cheek. "Good night, Simone." "Good night, Damon." She went inside and leaned against the door, smiling. It felt good to be treated well. To be seen. To be valued. She wasn't rushing into anything. Wasn't trying to fill a void or prove something. She was just allowing possibility. And that felt like exactly where she was supposed to be. 1 year after the divorce, Simone stood in her home office, looking at the business license on the wall. Phoenix Consulting, supporting women through transition. She'd done it. Started her own business helping women navigate divorce, rebuild finances, and reclaim their lives. She worked part-time at the hospital and part-time for herself. It was exhausting but fulfilling. She had 5 regular clients. Women in different stages of leaving bad marriages. She helped them document evidence, find attorneys, secure finances, and plan their futures. She gave them hope that life after divorce could be better than life during marriage. "You saved my life," one client had told her recently. "I don't know what I would have done without you." Simone had just smiled. "You saved yourself. I just helped you see that you could." Her relationship with Damon had grown slowly, steadily. They'd been together for 8 months now. He was patient with her healing. Supportive of her business. Present without being overwhelming. He made her feel seen in ways Trevor never had. "I'm not trying to replace what you lost," Damon had told her early on. "I'm just trying to build something new with who you are now." That had meant everything. They weren't living together. Weren't engaged. Weren't rushing toward any particular milestone. They were just enjoying each other. Building trust. Creating a relationship based on honesty and respect. It was the healthiest thing Simone had ever experienced. One afternoon, Simone was grocery shopping when she ran into Trevor. He was in the produce section, looking at vegetables with confusion. He'd lost weight. His clothes hung loose. He looked older than 35. "Simone," he said, surprise in his voice. "Trevor." They stood there awkwardly, shopping carts between them like barriers. "How have you been?" he asked. "Good. Really good, actually. You?" Managing." He paused. "I heard you started a business. Divorce consulting or something?" "Yes. It's going well." "That's great." "Really?" He looked genuine. "I'm glad you're doing well. What about you? Still at the same company?" "No. I left. After everything came out about Amber, it got complicated. I'm freelancing now. It's not the same, but it pays the bills." Simone almost felt sorry for him. Almost. "What about Amber?" The question came out before she could stop it. Trevor laughed bitterly. "Gone. Moved back to Ohio about a month after the divorce. Turns out she wasn't interested in dating someone who wasn't financially stable." He met Simone's eyes. "You were right about that. I'm sorry it didn't work out." "Are you?" "Honestly? Yes. I don't wish bad things for you, Trevor. I just didn't want to be married to you anymore." He nodded slowly. "I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. And I know it's too late, but I am sorry." For all of it. Simone looked at this man she'd once loved. Felt no anger. No bitterness. Just distance. I appreciate that. I hope you find whatever you're looking for. I think I already lost it, he said quietly. No. You lost a woman who loved you unconditionally. But that woman is gone. I'm different now. Better. And I found someone who values what I offer. You're seeing someone? I am. He's kind. Honest. Treats me like I matter. Something passed over Trevor's face. Regret maybe. Or just sadness at what he'd thrown away. I'm happy for you. I mean that. Thank you. They stood there for another moment. Then Trevor nodded. Take care of yourself, Simone. You too. She watched him walk away, cart squeaking slightly. Watched him disappear around a corner. And felt nothing. No pain. No triumph. Just closure. She finished her shopping and drove home. To her house that she owned. To her life that she'd built. To her future that was hers to shape. That evening, Damon came over for dinner. He'd started doing that sometimes. Bringing wine. Helping her cook. Making her kitchen feel alive with laughter and conversation. How was your day? He asked, chopping vegetables while she worked on the sauce. Interesting. I ran into Trevor at the store. Damon's hands paused. How was that? Fine actually. He looked sad. Told me Amber left. That work didn't work out. He apologized. Did you accept the apology? I acknowledged it, but I don't need it anymore. His apology doesn't change what happened. It doesn't give me back the years I wasted. It just makes him feel better. That's a healthy perspective. Therapy helps. Simone smiled. You know what's funny? Looking at him today, I couldn't remember why I loved him. He just seemed like a stranger who happened to know my name. That's how you know you've moved on. Yeah, I think I have. They finished cooking together. Ate dinner on her back porch, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of purple and orange. Talked about their days. Made plans for the weekend. It was simple. Easy. Real. I'm happy, Simone said suddenly. Damon smiled. Good. You deserve to be. I didn't think I would be. Right after the divorce, I thought I'd be angry forever. Or hurt forever. But I'm not. I'm just free. Freedom looks good on you. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the last light fade from the sky. Simone thought about where she'd been a year ago. Discovering Trevor's voice memo. Planning her escape. Building her case. She thought about the woman she'd been then. Strong but hollow. Capable but empty. Now she was strong and whole. Capable and fulfilled. She'd built a life on her terms. A business helping others. A relationship based on honesty. A home that felt like hers. She'd taken something broken and created something beautiful. What are you thinking about? Damon asked. How far I've come. How different everything is. Do you have any regrets? Simone considered the question. No, not anymore. Everything that happened brought me here. And I like where I am. I like where you are too. He squeezed her hand. Thank you for letting me be part of it. Thank you for being worth letting in. They sat together as night fell completely. Comfortable. Connected. Content. Simone had spent years trying to be enough for someone who would never value her. Now she was with someone who appreciated her exactly as she was. She had work that mattered. Friends who supported her. A future that excited her. She'd lost a marriage. But she'd found herself. And that was worth everything.